is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, The Road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Sabrosa, Kusta, Wardell, Steel, and Neptune have come alive here for Ghost. They've done a banging job of putting energy away and ending their run here in this season of ESL Pro League Season 8. My name is Trey Saranthus. We're going to start to wrap this one up before we get into our next one, which is going to be a banger, I guarantee it, with Astralis and Liquid. But first, guys, my goodness, who could have saw Ghost Gaming ending that one out in that fashion?
I mean, this happened before, but you know, the matches were as we expected in terms of all the rounds you could think of. And interestingly on Mirage, obviously, you know, in the first half, we were talking here before the game that, you know, you'd expect to have a solid T side from Ghost. They'd be able to produce some good rounds, and energy would have to be ready for them. None of which we actually saw. Ghost didn't even get many bomb plants throughout that first half. I mean, they went through, I think, 8 or 9 rounds with only 2 bomb plants, and that's just not good enough.
And that was the story for both teams, as you said. Great CT sides, especially the way Ghost plays. I feel like they had double opposite of running, Kusta being towards that B bomb side, constantly being on the move, whereas Wardell, you know him for being roaming around all the time. And it's sort of like, if you want to learn how to play the AVP in Mirage, I would go in and watch this demo from Wardell in particular, and in Kusta for that matter. The way they're roaming around and the way they created space for guys to Sabrosa to come out and get those kills was very, very well played by Ghost Gaming. Little bit disappointed in energy though that they didn't have more to offer. I think they fell a little flat on that T side, and a team that has been together for that long should have something to fall back on in a scenario like this.
I feel like if you go watch the VOD and you watch from those AWP's point of view, far too many times they had just clean line of sight. Like they were not blinded, they were not forced into awkward positioning. None of which those kind of things were, you know, you're pushing an op into the situation where you cannot get a multi-kill. Basically, he can be one and done, but that's all he can do. Unfortunately for energy, they were just not able to execute in a manner or it was elaborate enough so that Ghost players would have got off guard in No Man's Land.
Well, No Man's Land's not where you want to find yourself in any situation, any day, shape, or form. But one thing that you want to find yourself is in a winter's, or not a winter's interview, I guess it is that, on top of being in a winter's interview. We will be able to catch up with the likes of Ghost Gaming, but first let's take a look at some of these numbers, and my goodness.
Something you want to point out is that Kusta had, in the first half of Mirage, he was sitting at 1 kill.
1 kill.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And ended up with 17, so.
That's a turnaround, Trace.
A strong showing. Starting slow, ending strong. And that's what we can all hope to do in life. Let's go ahead and give it over to our winner's interview. We are privileged to hear from Ghost Gaming on the backs of that win and advancement in this tournament and through the brackets. Let's go ahead and check it with James Banks on the sidelines.
I've got Neptune from Ghost Gaming as they managed to take down NRG in a very fierce battle across 3 maps. Now, Neptune, just talk to me mainly through this last map, because I spoke to James, your coach, before we covered the first 2. What on earth was going on there? Because it was so back and forth, right to the wire. How many of your games seemed to be?
Well, during the first half, it was like we made a bunch of mistakes, and then even through all those mistakes, we were staying composed and we stayed positive through all of it. And then going into the next half, we weren't really tilted or anything, and we stayed positive. So all the rounds that really were won by us were like all of us our individual plays. And it was just everyone stepping up to the plate and really just going ham in the next half. Even when we got ninja defused, even when we lost like crazy like man disadvantage rounds, all of us just stepped up at the right time.
Now, how did you guys in some of them crazy situations stop yourselves from getting tilted? What was the communication like? How are you guys kind of getting through it?
I think it's most of us as a team being able to just keep everyone calm. And then also it's just like, you know, what are you going to do? Like, what is it going to help if you stay tilted from the last round and try and go into the next round? You know, it's just not going to help. So we're just experienced enough and composed enough to just know that it's not good to bring that bad energy and just stay positive to play the next round.
As a 16-year-old saying that, you definitely know how to play this. That's a smart decision to make as well. Now, Na'Vi, you're going to be coming up against next. You haven't looked too hot so far this tournament. Are you confident with your preparation, your style of play, that you guys can win that?
I think our prep is we're very prepared, and we'll come into the game very confident and just come in swinging. We'll just play our game and not really worry about too much.
Hey, great performance. Thank you, Neptune, for that. These guys, they do it. They upset NRG. They've made it through to the lower bracket grand finals. Let's see how they do against Na'Vi.
Yeah, Navi's definitely going to be feeling a little bit hungrier on the backs of everything that they've had go their way, or lack thereof, I should say, coming into this week. And, well, I guess we're going to continue to break this one down. And I guess moving forward, guys, we can begin to digest and perhaps understand some of the things that went on around the game. Jacob, I believe you have something for us?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanna talk a little bit about NRG and you know, the way they end their year. I feel it's a little bit disappointing considering how well it's been throughout this year. It started exactly a year ago as well, where they all of a sudden became this godlike team online. I even dare I say, you know, they brought in Cirque, they brought in Breezy, I believe it was, and they just started playing well instantly. And now moving into this one, I mean, it's just not working right now for them.
Well, we do have a little bit of a telestration here, and perhaps we could just press play and see what happens.
What's this play?
Oh, no, it's already ship sailed. It's fine. Not a big deal.
Got it.
We could take a look at that, kind of understand what exactly it is. But Natu, what's your key takeaway here for Energy and kind of the dismal ending to the year they're having?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously disappointing. It's been most of the year. It's been great. Just the only mishaps, I guess, would be not getting into the major, obviously, and you don't want to end your year like this, especially in the way that this match went back and forth. Both teams playing really scrappy in terms of just closing out rounds, losing to a lot of underwhelming buy rounds, and so and so. So that's definitely not a good outlook for this lineup moving forward.
No, and looking into Ghost Gaming on the other hand, you know, we know they're moving against Navi here. They need to eliminate some of the mistakes that they made as well. I think Neptune said it pretty well, that they knew they were doing a lot of mistakes, but somehow they still managed to win the game. When you go up against a Navi that is well-drilled, and when you go up against a Navi that have Symbol on fire, you can't make those mistakes. So obviously it depends on what Navi turns up tomorrow, because that's a little bit of a question too. But if it is a Navi that is willing to play and want to play their own game, Ghost Gaming needs to eliminate just a small portion of the mistakes they're doing right now, and I could actually see them make that a very competitive game.
Well, I feel like, just from my experience of knowing the guys over Ghost, knowing Steel or knowing James IRL, the coach, they seem to be very much problem solvers. So when they have that equation put in front of them that they can't necessarily solve right away, they will take the necessary steps to find it. And I do believe they have that sort of mother-father synergy over there with the two of them, at least. Who's who? I don't know. That's up for you to decide.
It could be, but it also requires that the players on the team are receptive to what they're getting told, right? You have a guy who's 16 years old called Neptune. He hasn't really had that much experience, especially not on this level. So is he able to sort of interact with Steel and use the information that he's getting told and actually get better at a quick enough pace? You know, that's what's going to outline his career and what's going to sort of like form him as a player. Because I do agree with you, you know, having those two guys being the dads of the team, you know, that's definitely going to be beneficial for some of the younger and more inexperienced guy on the team.
Well, we're done talking about two dads on the same team, but we could be talking a little bit of energy, and they're going to be a little bit down because they did just catch a big L, but let's hear what they had to say on the other side of that loss.
NRG may now be eliminated from the tournament, but I've caught up now with I'm a Pet just to go through how NRG generally took that series and how it was feeling. Now, for me, a lot of the things that come with the rounds you guys were winning were some huge, crazy individual plays, and it was great to see. But what do you kind of put not being able to make it happen on Mirage down to?
I think on Mirage, I think we just lacked the individual effort. They definitely stepped up to the plate, Ghost. They had a lot of crazy plays. Their ops were dominant throughout the whole game, so it was just something we couldn't be able to trade the whole half, so it just made the rounds a lot harder.
Now, you speak about that AWP dominance, right? That's normally what we say about you guys. We've got Cirque in there, getting involved, just dominating people in a very convincing fashion. Do you think they just kind of were able to work off all the information they had on you? Because we always look at Ghost as quite a prep-heavy team in that way.
Yeah, I think this time around they had a lot more to work with in terms of demos, and we didn't really have that many just because they haven't played in a very long time. So props to them. They did their homework, and it paid off.
Well, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I appreciate you giving me your time after that, man. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you at future events, and good luck after that. NRG are out. It's a sad loss for them as Ghost move forward to face Na'Vi, but hey, sometimes that's just the way it goes.
Yes, the way she goes, or she doesn't, because sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't. It's the way of the road. Anyway, let's go ahead and sort of wrap all this up and bring it all in together, all encompassing. Yes, Energy are out. Yes, this is probably the stopping point for them in the year. What can they hope to accomplish, or maybe look at changing going into the next year?
No, I mean, I kind of went through that before, right? They just got to go through, think about. It's been a year of a bit of a roller coaster so far. I think they have all the ingredients to be a solid team. That the world rankings show that, the results show that they've been playing really well against some top teams. So it's all about limiting those errors. I mean, it's just far too many of them happening in short time span, which is costing them games like this. And I think this is also a bit of a game-specific one here between NRG and Ghost, because all these games have been very, very close.
It's also a part of being realistic around yourself. You know, NRG is currently ranked number 6 in the world, and I think nobody had expected that going into this year. So they should be proud. They should be happy with what they've accomplished throughout this year and be realistic. We also saw Mouse Sports all of a sudden wanting to change out one of their players because they wanted to take the step from being number 5 to number 2. That didn't work out too well. So, you know, manage your own expectations and be proud of what you've done. Come back to 2019 and be strong.
Yes, and maybe they can do just that, but for the time being, they will be joining our losers, which include Order, INTZ, Vici, North, Sharks, Hellraisers, Big, and now NRG. But that is just the beginning of the day, because that's our first best of 3 in the books. We're going to be jumping into our second, which is the Group A upper bracket final between Astralis and Liquid, coming up after the break. Can the steps towards the Intel Grand Slam start here? They just might. Don't go anywhere, because you're not going to want to miss this one.
Champions of ESL 1 Cologne.
Do you remember?
Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Think you've seen it all?
He reads it! He reads it! Are you ready to be a part of Counter-Strike history?
ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
Think she can't get a last-second clutch? Watch this. Think he can't carry his team while streaming in high resolution? All the while recording a once-in-a-lifetime win? Watch this. Think leveling up only happens in-game? Watch this. On Intel Core i7, they'll rise to every challenge. Now it's your turn. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
I've been there since the beginning. Every map, every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
It's that time of year again as the fall season of MDL returns. Watch the best teams from all around the world compete for their chance to make it to the Global Challenge. MDL is returning again to give aspiring esports teams the chance to make it to that upper echelon of play. You can catch all of the action on Twitch Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, twitch.tv/ESEA.
came to save my home and the people that I love. That was awesome.
Atlantis has always had a king. Now it needs something more.
But what could be greater than a king?
A hero.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, The Road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA. Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Very special treat here in the city of Odense as we get ever so much closer to that coveted Intel Grand Slam, where not only will the winning team, which probably will be Astralis, maybe Astralis at this point, not only can they net themselves $1 million, but they can also entitle themselves and actually engrave themselves upon that legacy that is the Intel Grand Slam. Picking up the first one would be a monumental task, and there's a team that's been grinding all year, putting up all of the results just in order to grab that Intel Grand Slam. Now, we do have a very special treat because not only are the $1 million on site, we do have actually the trophies here for IGS. We can begin to take a look at those now and take a look exactly what it is that you see on your screen. Wow, those are gold bars. Yes, they might be. But they are also surrounded by legacy, surrounded and distilled in what is the Intel Grand Slam. Has been a big talking point of this year, and there's a very real chance that the Danes and Astralis can crown themselves the champions of that Grand Slam right here in the lovely city of Odense. But it all starts with this matchup against Team Liquid. They're going to be finding themselves battling it out in the upper bracket finals today in a best of 3, trying to secure their way on to the semifinals, but not before we take them to a best of 3. Chad, Burchill, and Natu here alongside of me to help to display and help show what lovely trophies we have here on display. Guys, the Intel Grand Slam, been the talking point all year, and now we're starting to see the fruits of that labor.
Cool. It's going to be like multiple big things for Astralis if they're able to pick up the victory here, right? The fact of the matter is the Intel Grand Slam winning that $1 million on home soil, that's fantastic, and it tops off the year that they've already been shown as the Astralis era as their year. I don't think anybody could ever look and argue that point. But as well as that, they can win back-to-back EPO and ECS seasons within the same year. I don't think any other team has come close to doing anything along those lines. So that as another achievement, it's just been a year of firsts for this Astralis roster who just continue to put the gold up on display.
I think it's just fruits of just job well done. I think they're the most hardworking team. They don't just leave any stone unturned, and that's what you can get. I mean, when things are working out great, they play some awesome Counter-Strike.
Some very fundamental, very much hometown heroes in their own right, because from the time I spent in Copenhagen with the Pro League to just talking with locals, they all know who Astralis is. They are all very familiar with what's going on here within the Counter-Strike scene because it's been a dominant performance from them this entire year, and I don't see that slowing down just yet.
Well, there was that hiccup, right, in the very beginning when the first roster change came in, and they weren't, you know, looking at like the Astralis that we saw, but then it was DreamHack Masters Marseille. Everyone kind of perked up and started giving that attention to that squad. And look, Liquid are the team they're going up against in this best of 3. One of the teams who have met them in countless grand finals. So it's cool we get to see that again.
Yes, definitely not the first time we've seen these two contenders go head-to-head, but on this occasion, we're going to have the chance to speak to Zonic going into this best of 3. Let's hear what he had to say on the side of Astralis.
I've got Zonic, the Astralis coach here. Best team in the world, a lot of pressure coming your way, and you're going up against Liquid, who you guys have faced so many crazy series against. Now, just going back to your games against Hellraisers, right? We saw a little bit of that shakiness come into it. What have you guys been doing to just make sure you're in the best form possible for this game here?
We have prepared, obviously. We have been looking through some matches of Liquid, but we know them quite well, so we have also had some time to relax, obviously. It's been a tough year, but a good year, but it's been really tough mentally, and we are very exhausted. So we have to pick carefully what we do in our spare time. So we have actually used a lot of time just relaxing and yeah, preparing mentally for this game against Liquid.
Now, without going into like giving away any secrets on this, we can kind of look at these vetoes now between both you and Liquid and be like, oh, okay, we have an idea of how it's going to go. Anything that might change, anything slightly spicy coming out?
I've read a couple of interviews with some of the Liquid guys saying that they might consider banning Nuke, but they have been traveling a lot since we played them last time in Chicago, coming just straight from Malta. I expect them to still leave, train out, and so that we can pick Nuke. But I've also said in interviews that I hate playing Nuke nowadays, and especially against Liquid because we played them so many times. So they must have studied us a bit more, and yeah, maybe this is the time where they feel that they have the upper hand against us. So yeah, we come prepared, but also gonna focus a lot on our own game because I expect Liquid, due to the last couple of matchups, that they will change something. So don't want to rely heavily on their play, but mostly on our own.
Now you've got the home crowd out there, right? So just let me know real quick, anything you want to say to everyone out there, because we're already hearing them getting loud and they're not even seeing you yet.
I'm just super excited to be playing in front of a Danish crowd. I know it's a little one, but this must be some of the hardcore fans out there. So I'm looking really much forward to playing in front of them.
Thank you very much, Danny. Good luck in your match. Astralis are ready, Liquid are ready. It's time to get into this game. Guys, take it away.
Yes, this upper bracket final was one for the books. In fact, when we start to take a look at this, we cannot possibly forget the other contender in Team Liquid. They've also had a strong year of second places, and hopefully that doesn't continue here, guys.
That's not too bad.
Second in the Astralis era is something which I would be more than happy to
You're
take.
like the first place runner-up.
Yeah, I would be more than happy with that considering how dominant Astralis have been. Now, I say that from my position of a retired professional. Obviously, when you're still competing and you have that drive to get up every day and put in 10 hours into Counter-Strike, you want to be the best team in the world. Now, that's a really good point that Zonic made, that the fact that Liquid have been traveling pretty much since Chicago, they haven't had a chance to stop, but their results have slowly gotten better. So that's a good sign, but I agree. I don't think we're going to be seeing the Nuke ban coming out at all.
Well, you talk about bans, Chad. I'm going to deliver them to you right now. Right here on the spot. I think we can even get the audio cranked up a little bit to maybe hear what's going on there. But the bans are going to start rolling out, and maybe let's take a little listen in.
So it should be Case from Astralis, and it should be Train from Liquid. That's what the two opening bans should be. And then it's the picks that are more interesting for me. Oh, they're picking right now. So
yeah,
you just said pick Inferno. So Inferno will be the first map.
Let's listen. Let's hear what they got.
We'll pick CT. Yeah, and then we will pick Nuke.
Surprise, surprise. So they're going for 27-0 now. Today they have another crack at it.
Get that drum roll in.
You know what? Why not?
So that's interesting. And then the third is where, you know, normally we'd see this go to Mirage, but I think with Astralis' woes lately, they might ban out Mirage, and that'll leave Liquid to get rid of Dust 2, and the last map will probably be Overpass.
Here we go.
And then that is Overpass and Mirage. And we'll play Overpass.
There you go.
Okay, so Inferno, Nuke, and Overpass, just like that, Chad.
With the choice from Astralis there to go back to Overpass, they've actually been straying from that map over recent times, right? They've actually been playing a lot more Mirage, and we saw Hellraisers give them a beating on that one. Overpass as well for Liquid has been on the up. They're actually able to win some games on land on it. They beat NRG over in Malta, and they beat Big as well. So that's positive signs, and maybe they'll take a bit more confidence. But Inferno is the first one. It's a curious choice. Always a 50-50 map.
And I'm always curious what our next person has to say, and that's going to be that of Zeus of Team Liquid. And we've got the chance and the opportunity to speak with him going into this matchup. Let's hear what he had to say.
Zeus from Team Liquid. Astralis now. Astralis, right? It's like rival for you guys again and again, but you're meeting them earlier here, and it's not so much that it matters in a massive way, right, in a sense that you want the win to get through the semis, but either way you guys make it to the playoff stage. So how is this kind of looking for you guys? Do you feel a little bit less pressure with it?
Yeah, no, it's like pressure at this time. We always face them. We're very used to it by now. It's nice to already know that this match doesn't matter as much, but of course we still want to win. I don't think we've gotten a BO3 win over them this entire year, and it would be nice to come out with that one.
Now, we saw the game that Astralis played against Hellraisers, right? And it wasn't the Astralis you normally see and go, oh, okay, look, they're completely on form. Do you think there's something that you guys might be able to look at and crack? Because I know you've been watching all the games.
Yeah, I got to, but I mean, Astralis, I've heard this before. Chicago, they're not on form. They're always on form. It's who they play against. It's a stage match. There's a little crowd here for their hometown. So I'm pretty sure they'll be on point, but hopefully we will be as well, because I know that them on point and us on point, it'll be an amazing match.
Now, finally, what's the win condition for you guys if you're to take this series?
Gotta get to 16 on 2 maps.
That's a smart answer. I like that, Zeus. Zeus giving us the facts before they go up against the Astralis. This is going to be an absolutely epic series. So, guys, let me know what you thought about all of that.
Well, I think they've got their taste buds adjusted just right coming into this best-of-3, and Inferno being that first map. We can start to take a look at some of the numbers and everything going into this one, but all in all, this one should be a pretty good fight, Chad.
On paper, yeah. On paper, this should be a match that hopefully delivers. We've already seen earlier in the year that win, the only red mark against Astralis' name with that major victory from Liquid. They had a really good T-side. They read every single one of the plays that Astralis were doing. They were one step ahead in that tie game, and then it still went to overtime. So if that doesn't attest to how good Astralis are, I don't know what does.
Yeah, it's insanity. I was going to say it's also the same thing for Astralis. It's very, very hard to play against their T-side because they can just like kind of manipulate you, especially when it comes to banana control. They'll change the timings a little bit so that you think they're doing one thing, but then they'll just switch a couple of seconds earlier or a little bit slower, and then that'll take you off, and then they'll take the advantage. They'll win that fight, and they'll get control of a big portion of the map.
Well, you want to talk about winning fights? We do have a duo that does win a fight from time to time or lose them. It's really a 50-50 at this point, I think. I'm not really sure, but we do know we have them on site ready to deliver the game. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our commentators for the next 2 best-of-3s. It's going to be Henry G and Sadakis back in the house, guys.
Hey, Trace, how's it going? Just want to say you're doing a great job today.
Thanks, man. Always can smell the sincerity on your breath.
I meant it that time. That was real.
That's why I just don't say anything, because if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
That was a nice thing. Why is this a bad thing?
No, I think that was a very good compliment from Henry there. Henry, your hair's looking lovely today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chad. I appreciate that you like blonde as well.
Anyway, Matthew, we got a great game here. This is turning into a bit of a classic matchup. Liquid knocking on the door of Astralis, but can't quite crack them yet. What are your thoughts on Nuke being in the pool? Do we feel like this is going to be the break of the streak?
Look, every single time we're getting closer to it, right? Statistically speaking, it's got to fall at some point in time, right? And Zonix's aware of it. He's talked about that before. Every time they play it, they are the benchmark. They're the ones that they're looking at. So it's very possible that Liquid could. However, I don't know that Liquid is the team necessarily that has the strategy or the mentality to do it. I think someone like Mouse Sports, who's a little more promising on the T side, maybe that's where it ends. So being in the pool, it seems like an easy one. We're not out of group stages yet. It's possible that Astralis also could have brought in a different map. They like to experiment with that, but they've chosen not to.
Well, either way, as Zeus pointed out, it's going to be an epic matchup. Best of 3, 2 of the best in the world. It's going to be epic. Hope you guys enjoy it.
We will enjoy it, and we'll be here just like you will be, standing side by side, kind of ish. Not really. We're not anywhere near each other. Don't want you to get that impression. But what I want you to get the impression of is how Inferno might begin to look. This is the first map of the series. And first, we might take a look at here some stats and then roll right into the nitty-gritty with Mr. Burchill. A ranked #1 Astralis world rank, and then look at that, Liquid #2. So this is about as close as you can get pound for pound.
Do you agree with that, Natsu, putting Liquid in #2? Because I know in some of the rankings, Na'Vi is in the #2.
I mean, I think it's relatively close at least.
Yeah, I think at least Liquid are the consistent number 2 team in the world, but as a team who, if they're all on form, can tackle Astralis, it would be Na'Vi, right? Yeah. The problem is Na'Vi
That's a matchup.
Exactly.
That's a matchup thing, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the point, right? But for Liquid to be in this position, they've had to, change a couple things up, Trace.
Well, why don't they change it all up, Chad? Why don't we take a look at some of those changes on your little handy-dandy notebook?
So one of the things I've been noticing, at least with the Inferno from Liquid in recent times, is they've changed their hold, and they've been playing a double AWP setup a little bit more. They've actually had moved Nitro over towards the B-bomb site with Naf in tow, and they have Taco now moved over towards the Arch side doing some secondary AWPing. That leaves Elige and Twist as the crossfire. The problem is, Astralis are fantastic at taking banana control, right? And having an AWP isn't the way that is the best way to deal with their utility usage. I actually think we have a video here of a late round B execute from Astralis. So as I clear off the screen, this is the one they used against Fnatic to take this to overtime when they're in a 4v5 situation. This is after banana control has already been established. So if you are going to run the double AWP setup that we were talking about from Liquid, the problem is when you get pushed back into the bomb site, that AWP in a round like this is useless. Yeah. You're completely either smoked out, Molotov out of position, or you're flashed. And these are the things with Astralis. They're so good in all the situations because with their opening to rounds, they're great. Mid rounds are fantastic. And then clutching, you've got the likes of Glaive and Zipnix who are turning up in spades recently.
I think one of the key points here is that you don't want to give real estate to Astralis without having to make them pay a price for it, right? Sure. Because that's what you get. You have 4 people. Even if it's a 4 and 5, they have all the utility left. Yeah. Look at this execution, how just on point it is. They come in, Glaive gets these nice entries. Magic's get the kill with the molly. It's just perfection.
And it might not be a simple case of making them pay with bodies on the map or this, that. I mean, we're talking as simple as make them use their utility because that's what they're known for, just exploiting with a lot of teams.
Yeah, I actually think some gambles from the CT side from Liquid would be nice here, right? Maybe taking some aggressive planned pushes, some little moves like that to really disrupt Astralis' T side, because that's what we want to get out of their hands. If you slowly get rid of all that utility and you're forcing them into like the 3-on-4 situations, you want to make them play a grittier version of CS. I think that's a good way to do it. We know Liquid has a very strong T side because we've seen them do it in the past. So for me, this is a battle of CT sides.
And I want to see has the victory they had in Malta and this situation not being a must-win because they're both through the playoffs. Is that going to be the kind of them off the leash, that they're going to play a little bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more puggy in certain situation? That it would be that spatter we need to stop Astralis having that real estate.
Do you think that this means more to Liquid to get straight through the semis or more for Astralis? Because my theory is I think that Liquid could have a real game, like MIBR could really push them if they have to play off within the quarters in that kind of scenario, right? Or if they have to meet them in the semis. Whereas if Liquid goes straight through, then ideally they'd probably miss MIBR, and at that point they could be a clear shot for the grand final. Whereas I don't see anybody challenging Astralis.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams definitely, neither of them will go into it not caring about going straight into the semifinals 100%. You want to get into that top 4 position straight away. But when you're Astralis and when you have that kind of confidence level against in any matchup, honestly, yes, in the back of your head, you're thinking it's not the end of the world if you don't.
Just for the viewer at home, the last time these guys went toe-to-toe was that Chicago Grand Final. We had the graphic up on the screen before, but that was a 16-14 opener, a 16-7, and a 16-4, and that final map was Inferno. That was a 16-4.
Doesn't bode well, does it?
That's a best of 5 where they were absolutely destroyed. The only condition that has changed is Liquid winning the trophy in Malta. That's only a mental thing. So you think they haven't really had a lot of time to practice. It's what they've been working on the road and with the facilities that they've been granted at different events. So how much could have possibly changed? This is why going into this, you still have to put Astralis as the massive favorite.
Dare I say that Liquid need to lift a trophy in this environment. Dare I say that they need to lift a trophy amongst the greatest of the best of the best, should I say, across all of the entire planet. And not just in Malta. They need to do it on soil where the competition is most fierce.
Yeah, but baby steps, right? I mean, you need to get those victories for you to be able to build that confidence. And absolutely, if they would hoist the cup here, that would be a massive thing. I think that could potentially just unleash the beast.
Well, talking about unleashing the beast, we're going to be doing that. And I'm not talking about our commentators. I'm talking about the Intel Grand Slam that's on the line here for Astralis. It all starts here in their playoff bouts, looking to secure themselves a semifinal berth. Could end up being a quarterfinal berth. Either way, we do have Liquid versus Astralis, a best of 3 here in Odense. Take it away, Henry G. and Sadakis.
And either way, Astralis still have a path to that Grand Slam, win or lose this series, because again, it does determine where they play in the playoffs, not if they will play in the playoffs. That's already a foregone conclusion. Liquid versus Astralis. We start out on Inferno.
We certainly do, Matthew. Astralis on the CT side. We'll see whether their one smoke and HE combo will be enough. No diffuse kits just to know there. You can see Liquid going for a very tactical approach. They've got 2 smokes, 2 flashes. The fact they have 2 HEs as well suggests they would go for the banana fast push at the start, but they're going to be holding on to that. I think it's like the way meta goes round. That was done for so long. CTs were just aware of it. So you save those HEs when you actually go for the initial take. That could be a little bit too much. But either way, got to hold on to the majority of their nades so far. Going for the default, getting some apartments control first. I respect this. Push those CTs back and make sure they don't have much information at all. But the problem is right now, Glaive does have full vision of the banana area. And this is a bit of a problem. You can see now 4 players on the CT side, on the A-bomb side. Liquid have waited way too long before they fully commit. It's going to be a difficult challenge now to crack open this site.
Dupree standing on the box inside of it will allow them to go by as Magisk gets the shot instead. He has a chance to swing. Great shot on the nav. Mid-air, head removed, bomb dropped. Nitro trying to fight valiantly inside of the site, finds only 2. Twists will compliment him, but he's now left alone as Xyp9x takes down Nitro. Smoke down does actually guard off both CT players, but that's dissipated. Oh, as he's in the pit, he spots both. That gives him a chance for a good movement as well from Twists as he wants to get out and get the bomb planted. This is actually winnable on his behalf. That would be remarkable. Nade's going to do a significant amount of damage, but he's got the headshot on Xyp9x, and Twists puts Liquid in the lead.
Wow, that was really impressive. You're absolutely spot on there with the movement, especially. Xyp9x had no chance of denying the plant, did his best at the HE, but we know how fantastic Twist can be there. As I pointed out, that wasn't actually looking too good for Liquid whatsoever. They really did wait too long on their full commitment towards A. They got some banana control initially, but then waited so long before they went in towards the A site. As we pointed out, 4 CTs waiting for them. It was looking fantastic for Astralis there. Magisk holding strong as usual towards those apartments, but a fantastic clutch coming in from Twist. There will be a force buy in the second round, though. Maps like Inferno, this is quite common these days. As they push, that's going to be certain death for Xyp9x alone. And Elise had already made it towards the logs. Bit of exchange with the HEs, and Glaive knows he needs to get the fragment return while that smoke's down. Needs to isolate here. Does his best. They do get 1 kill, but still 4 versus 3 in favor of Team Liquid here. So that's going to call for a rotation from Dupree. Magisk knows he has to do a bit more here. He's going to hold by the sandbags for now.
Double peak potential from Astralis. Be a little bit careful. It just goes down to 9 HP. That certainly won't help, but he wants to get baited in at this point by Dupree. Taco's not sold. They'll still check it, and he's easily removed as a result. Dupree trying to swing back out, does at least get Naf. So it's still just a 3-on-2. If he finds another one in this, it could be a massive problem for them. He does actually get another, but they remove him quickly enough, and I say it could have been a problem. The flank's a little bit far. Device will come up banana. Potential guns down. Just keep that in mind.
They are quite low HP, though. It's not impossible for him, but certainly not ideal. He's got a smoke to drop in CT spawn if he so wishes, but has one of those in front of him as well. That certainly makes things a little bit more complicated. He'll hold up for now. He knows he has to wait this smoke out. At this stage, it's looking unlikely that he'll win the round, but if he can kill both of them on exit, that's still something. They could even be tempted to force buy once again if that was the case, if he kills both of them. CZ out. Close range, wants as much damage as possible, looking for his initial kill here. And like I said, try and take both of them down. At that point, you can actually argue that force buy next round won't be the worst idea in the world. Nice kill. Doesn't have time to defuse at this point, but he wants to make sure everyone goes down here. If he survives with the UMP as well,
he's already
that should be enough, right? Oh, not quite.
Bomb, though.
I think he survives that.
Okay, it didn't go off. You were right. Timing wasn't there. I was going to say if he kept alive a little bit longer and kept Nitro on the bomb, he could have done exactly that. But you're right. 1 player surviving. Not the greatest thing in the world for Liquid's money. They'll try and buy back in. It's 2-0 for them. Astralis will sit for 1 more based on the force buy.
Yeah, I feel like if he survives that and gets the kill, they would really consider going for the force buy here, but didn't really go down that way. That 1 kill really did decide everything. The fact they didn't bring anything over, and there's an AK up, probably not worth it at this point. So just the 1 deagle and HE as well, that'll be thrown towards bottom middle. Should do some decent damage. It actually does. You can see Elise and Taco taking the brunt of it. But a lot of work to do here. This should be a 3-0, no problem for Team Liquid. Exactly what they need here. They're definitely a team that relies on their mental fortitude. A good start would certainly help them out. They don't want to be ran over and get 6-0'd to kick things off against a team like Astralis. They want to make sure they're in control and dictating the pace.
And rightfully so on the T side of Inferno, because Astralis, believe it or not, have had more struggles on their CT side accumulating rounds.
That's right, actually. The 1 loss Astralis have taken against Team Liquid was an Inferno at the London Major, where they went down 13-2, pulled it back to overtime, but did lose in the end. So
that's right.
It's definitely one of those maps where Liquid can take them down.
And shockingly, the only loss in the Major for Astralis.
Yeah.
If they were actually a little more prepared, perhaps on their CT side, or awakened at the start of the game, they would have gone undefeated. They would have been the first undefeated Major champion. No team has done that as of yet. Perhaps that's another goal that Astralis can try and achieve.
Yeah, at this point, there's not many left, is there? But there it is. It is going to be 5 players surviving for Liquid. Couldn't be going better at this point. Pretty nice stuff. Did lose quite a lot of casualties in the previous round, but it's against the Force Buy. They get to kind of reset their money at this point in a positive way and get the full $3,500 per player with all 5 surviving. I say that, Dupree could have taken down Twist, but his aim is looking sharp, and that's exactly what they need. Twist has been turbulent the last couple of months. He either looks fantastic on the server, or he completely drops off. It depends map to map right now, but thankfully, right now, he's looking incredibly good.
And he was a little under the weather in Malta as well. Naf picked up the weight of that, I think. Got the MVP of the event, Naf did. So, yeah, I talked to him, Russell, just yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday, the day before, either way, when we were here in Odense, and he was saying that he still wasn't feeling his best. See if he can play it. Good start. Zipix toward Banana, at least with the nade strike potentially, now that we have guns out.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a bonus situation for Liquid as well. You can see that Mac 10 UMP coming through. Got to see if they can shut down the fact that 2 Astralis players don't have helmets. That's why it's always worth holding onto those SMGs. If you know you have full control of the money and the other team's struggling, a helmet is a luxury for sure. So that UMP Mac 10 can be very deadly. And it means you can be a bit looser of your approach as well. You can take some risks and take some gamble executions at the start of rounds, perhaps, as they try and go for banana control here. You see Glaive challenging effectively, but there's the Mac 10. Not even an assist at that range. They must have put in about 40 damage, but Nitro does burn towards the Logs positions. There's still an advantage with the Danes here. Taco knows he needs to kill in return. He might actively challenge here and take on Mages. He'll know his tendencies, and you can see the pre-aim coming through exactly where he was, but Mages way too fast.
Sidestepped that like it was nothing. Cha-cha this time. It's not. Naf's going to try and work it all back in their favor. It's a bit of a tough argument for him. 45 seconds left. Bomb back down toward T-stairs. He'll go grab that at least in case he can find some picks onto B, but he should be potentially be spotted if the Vice wants to peek down mid. So bomb picked up by Naf at the very least. Alt mid's not really ideal considering the circumstances. I think he's just going to save the AK because if he goes up that direction, as we just saw, Magiska is already pushed up. So if he even crosses toward Boiler, he's spotted.
Not really much he can do with this one. As we mentioned before, the money's absolutely fine for Liquid. Ideally on this sort of round, sure, they came in with SMGs, but you'd expect maybe more than 1 kill just to really punish the fact that they're chasing on the cash. But Astralis hold incredibly strong there. Pistol arguably should have been theirs. It was stolen away by Twist, and that's found them in this unfortunate position. Stoic as ever. Zonic sits behind them. He's still happy. You can see he's trying to make sure everyone's in the zone and feeling it. I think that's a very positive aspect of this team. If you have a coach that, when things are going wrong, it's just dead silent, sat down, that really doesn't help anyone. But if you're even in the good times and the bad, he's always making sure their heads are in the game, which is excellent to see. As York comes out for the first time, that is a bit of an issue, as Device is a bit of a monster on this map. And you can see Glaive challenging in those flames. Did well to get that first frag, but took down Nitro as he tried to retreat from the Logs. Pretty exciting stuff. Utility towards Banana, it's a massive part of the game. Maybe not this round, though, as Zipex will be challenged. You can see Glaive trying to back him up. Great teamwork here. 3 players sent towards the B site at the start of the round. Astralis once again man advantage. A change of pace there for Liquid. They were trying to beat the nades and get in front of them and just challenge with brute force. And that's a great nade once again. Lots of damage done, and frags available for Magiska. He normally plays in the pit, a position that won't be, I guess, too relevant at the very start of the round. That's why you can justify bringing him over. Speaking of which, Device, of course, he's in second middle, just killing everyone.
Yeah, just punishing them. No getting back down. Banana had the information they were there, so takes the fight directly to Liquid rather than giving them back any map control. And it is now, as a result, 3-2. Astralis with the money, Liquid without. Chance to tie the game immediately.
Yeah, bouncing right back here, starting to create some funds of their own. And Device, he uses that information. His teammates said they're both Banana, they'll be falling back. Of course, just tucks himself in a second middle. Like we said, he's very assertive and dynamic on this particular map. And I assume they'll kind of tone things down for this one. A couple of nades of B at the start, but they know they're up against pistols here. They'll be tracking the money just like we are. And it's just P250s, no armor, 1 flashbang. Objective, get the bomb down, get a few kills. But you've got to get past Deve first, and fortunately for them, they do headshot him, but they will melt as the bullets rain through. It's obviously unarmored opposition, doesn't take much. Device gets headshot at start, falls back, takes the aggro for Glaive, who can just wreck them. 3-3, and we have got a small crowd here today, Matt. I'm sure there's a lot of Danish fans who are very happy to see Astralis getting 3 in a row.
Yeah, no question about that.
rabid fan base. They love it here. It's so cool to see like they have a proper home team they can really get behind. You don't necessarily get that with a lot of teams these days. You'll see MIBR, Astralis, and then like you look at teams like FaZe, it's difficult to really pinpoint where that fan base is represented.
Used to have VP obviously in Poland. That's kind of fallen off.
NIP obviously one of the biggest brands still in Counter-Strike. It's great to see like big fan bases get behind their home teams.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's so popular here in Denmark that I've met Danish people that say they hate Counter-Strike just because they can't escape it.
Yeah, it's just everywhere.
It's like the odd Canadian that says they hate hockey because you can't avoid it.
Sure.
It's just everywhere.
Oh, here's Nitro challenging once again. He's got flames behind him, but
good read.
Great aim.
Nearly pre-fired Glaive. He knew that there was going to be a repeat on the back of that. The Molotov didn't land in time to prohibit that from happening, so Elige does get the trade. But he took a bit of damage for it, not a lot, considering there was the pre-fire. Elige with the Krieg. That doesn't surprise anyone. That was very close from Device. Toward the bottom of mid. May have been misleading. The wall could have been between the X-ray and the shot, but it seemed close, so I'll say it. That's what I do. How about you, Hank?
I'll say whatever you say.
Well, this is going to be fun.
Well,
I've got a phrase that you can say that I've already said.
Yeah, no, maybe not everything, but most things I'll agree with. Quite suggestible. But 30 seconds remaining, Matt. The MP5 is out. A weapon we're not seeing that much of these days. It was only purchased 5 times on day 1 of this tournament. And with a lot of CS played. We'll see Device holding effectively from the library there. As he baited his teammate, you can see he's on the bomb side there. That's Magisk. Fantastic, but not the greatest weapon, and Taka will punish that fact, and Dupree left in what we'd call an impossible situation. He's on the other side of the map, and as they get the bomb down, there's no point going for this. Maybe just sit in underpass, see if you can get an exit kill or 2, or the bridge. That works too. You just want to make sure you just get 1 kill before the round is over. That's pretty much all you can do with this one. But lovely stuff there. You can see Liquid are very aware of the tendencies of Astralis towards that B side of the map. They can't just be scared of it and leave it alone. They do have to actively challenge it, because as soon as you show resilience to even challenge there, Astralis just won't dump grenades at the start. They'll just hold things back. If they realize you're not going to do it, you just have to work out how you can break through. And I feel like what they're doing right now, power in numbers, there's only like 3 Ts at the start to actively challenge Glaive and Zipex there. I feel like that's the best way to do it. Like, make sure they're under pressure at all times. And you've got players that can definitely go toe-to-toe in the aim department as the bomb goes off.
Was a nade for Dupree. Could have played a cheeky one there toward the pit. It would have been the right round to do so. Given the circumstances of Astralis just finally winning another round, not having money established. We call that the devastation nade.
There are a few of them.
We just call it the Doji nade, let's be honest.
The sex bomb.
The sex bomb.
That's the good one, isn't it?
That should be a perfume that comes in, or a cologne that comes in the bottle, like a grenade-shaped bottle.
Yeah.
And branded by Doja. That would be unreal.
Bomb. Well, Nitro.
God, I come up with some good ideas.
You really do.
I really need to get a lawyer just listening to my cast and just patenting them. Yeah. That's a real breadwinner, that one.
Well, Nitro. Again, you can see 3 players challenging. They really don't want them to have a good time. And this time, Device is actually going to be there with them. But they're isolating a player towards sandbags, or are they? Zipex so comfortable, so calm, as he takes 2 down with the smoke as well. That just shuts them out. Naf might burn here as well. He does take down Zipex, so not all is lost. Sure, it's a 4v3 with low HP on Naf, but still something here.
Yeah, who burns faster? Obviously the Witch. Naf gets away with 14. Zipex is gone. Both were locked out of respective positions with no smokes left to save themselves. Still a Molotov left for Taco. 2 smokes, he with 1 and Twist with the other. Only 2 defensive nades left over as well. 1 for Device being a smoke. Magisk with the can of fire, he's going to throw that. It's not fast enough. Twists is already around, but it does force Nap inside of the apartments because he was low enough not to take a ticket back. Down to 11 HP, he's the only one left. Glaive, Magisk, Crossfire, set up an Astralis with a 4th round.
Really nice round from them as well. Very efficient stuff. Only gave up 1 player. You can see they're ready to challenge a B as well. And this time, Astralis come out on top, funnel them towards A. And that crossfire on the A site, not many teams can break it down. Magisk and Device rotating in as well. Zipex, fantastic work here at the start. The fact he's in that sort of isolated position, they were even aware of him. But here he goes, the crossfire is referencing. Through the smoke, Glaive, absolute Inferno specialist who will perform with big numbers here on this map. As we go 4-4, it's a complete reset for Liquid, and they're going to force it. They're going to bring out 1 rifle. It's a Galil, not really ideal, but it's cheap. As we'll see the UMP come out as well. And 3 upgraded pistols with 2 smokes. So we'll see if anything's available to them. Again, Astralis very aware of the prospect of there being low money. Won't overcommit to this, won't be pushing Banana per se. As Glaive gets control of the barrels, he can send Zipex on his merry way, because he knows he's up against the pistols here. He can hold that smoke as soon as he gets any aggro, drop that at the bottom, still fight for another 15 seconds, then call for the backup. So he'll be comfortable to hold that by himself.
Taco inside of the smoke, trying to emerge.
And this goes back to reference my point. If you don't challenge Banana at all, you do allow Astralis to have this set up.
No, absolutely. It's a point of contention that needs to be considered. It's almost like a mid, if you will. And you have to keep teams there. Taco gets out. Device just absolutely dances on him.
That's so sick.
Dupree underneath of the roof has the AK in hand. He'll try and hold him off as well, quite convincingly from mid, because he's got a smoke down on the other side, so no help in doing so. Pistol's actually going to win out, take it back. Allegius Galil finds the kill. I thought it was going to be Pistols just running by. But you're absolutely right about Banana. If you don't put pressure on it, why bother leaving a bunch of players there? You essentially grant map control for free, and now you run into exactly this. Device being mobile on the AWP. He's on that side of the map this time on A. And then the Magisk spray down, which always seems to be effective toward the B side, or excuse me, the A site, in the pit position specifically. Changing it up a little bit this time, top of the double.
Yep. Well then, Matthew. This game is just heating up. It's just what we want to see. Neck and neck. Astralis do feel like the stronger team, obviously, since the gun runs have begun. They did go down with a 3-0 deficit. That shot from Device was just spectacular. It's great to see Twist looking sharp, Device showing up as well. It really does get Counter-Strike fans excited to see the big names delivering on all fronts as we get into it. Round 10. This has to be the eco, and they'll be aware of it as well. If you kill players with pistols and you dig them and you can feel the helmet, you know they force ball, right? So they can afford to be a little bit more aggressive, it seems, this round, as Magisk lights them up at the start. Good spray control to take down 2. Zipex will back him up, and he knows. He wants to slice of the action. That's Dupree. Challenging middle, finds Twist, Nitro. Impossible situation. Device will confirm that. He must be racking up the kills now. He's on 9, Magisk on 11. We have played 10 rounds, so all the names
20 kills between the two of them.
Yeah, not bad.
That's 2 kills per round.
Anything else?
An ADR of 96.4.
Perfect.
And 112.8. I just made that up. How close am I?
I don't know. Let's... ADR of 109 on Magisk.
Oh, I was close. I said not 112, and I said 94, and it's 92.
Yeah.
I just made up numbers, and I was damn close. I should buy a lottery ticket. Get the hell out of here.
11, and the Krieg's out for Allegius again. We'll see whether he can be influential. Another grenade comes through. This time not as devastating, at least. Got to take those small victories where you can. Glaive and Zipex, again, full control B. So do they rotate? Are they rotating all 5 players to A? They're gonna, okay, are they gonna
Is this how...
I was about to say, what are you guys up to?
Guys, man, Banana's just, it's fine. They're not going there.
Yeah,
we can play this as one bomb site.
We've
it's like a
rattled the
retake
cage.
server.
Yeah, this is weird, but they do leave Zipex there. They both had knife out. I think maybe both of them called they're going to rotate. They just have to decide who was going to go.
They're not even going Banana. This is...
Well, this is what we pointed out on Pistol. If you don't challenge that at all and you've allowed them to have vision, they're going to have 4 players a day, which they have right now. But they get the opening kill. So with Twist opening things up.
I think they're even trying to say, like, if we give them Banana, maybe they'll start pushing down. Nap's sitting back at spawn expecting that. Yeah. Like, is this some sort of reverse psychology? That never worked on me as a kid, by the way, Dad. I just faked it. Bomb dropped. Glaive gets Nitro. That bomb goes forward toward the arch as well. It means that Magisk have Taco, and a round that's also starting to look out of reach once more. Twists started off miraculously in the first 2 rounds. He's got another kill this time, and he's followed it up. Back through the barrel. The ice falls. Suddenly the round alive, but they've got to get back toward the bomb, which seems easier to do than say, because they've already gotten the 2 kills faster than I could say it. It's Allegius on both on the Krieg, and Team Liquid pull back around.
So, again, Astralis, good read on the situation, 4 players in the area of contention, but it's Twist. Even if you have a disadvantage, if that guy's hitting shots, there's not many players that can challenge him in that 1v1 environment. Just look at the kills he's getting here. First one is a pretty standard spray, but then he comes alive with these precision headshots here. Who's low HP at this point? 17, and Device doesn't hit him with the AWP, gets right through the barrels there, and Twist will light up the A-bomb set. It's going to be 6-5 Liquid. Keeping the head above water. We'll see what they can do in round number 12. There still is money for Astralis, of course. The AWP comes out once again. They've got 1 more buy in them if they lose this. But so far, we're pretty much neck and neck at 6-5. Timeout as they discuss their options.
So they have 1 round between them. Naf on the op, T side. Nasty Naf.
We haven't seen any hyper-aggression from Astralis yet. We know they like to push down all the way down middle with Dupree. They're being quite conservative in that respect. Maybe just showing very heavy respect for all Liquids. I've seen some of the potential from Twists. And the nades again. This time they are devastating. Nitro and Twist swallowed them as they'll take most of the damage. That was from second middle, so you can bounce the nade off the windowsill right down into second mid. If you're there, you're going to feel it. As you can see, taking about 50 damage each. Device alone and Banana once again. Exact same scenario as before. So the rounds they challenge it seems to be quite successful for Liquid. They can at least get maybe a 3-on-3 and make things uncomfortable for the CTs. But if they leave it open, it's quite telegraphed they're going towards A, but I guess they're so happy with their star potential that they'll challenge in a 5 versus 4. They still have an extra man in that respect, I guess.
Trying desperately to find them. Back of the smoke with some echolocation, perhaps.
How do they get back to B now? It looks like that's what they want to do. They're going to have to heavily flash that barrels position. As everyone knows, Device likes to get posted up here. Normally on the half wall. I'm not sure if that's where he's trying to get towards now. They'll drop the bomb, suggest the challenge will be coming in. There's a flash. He's even waiting for the flash. What a baller. The fact he even knows that they're going to try and flash me here before they peek. I'll just wait behind the half wall and take them down. Not a problem. And that's going to slow them right down. They won't really challenge that straight away. They have to flash it again and try and push him back. And they go back towards middle. With 25 seconds remaining, Dupree and Magus on the site, Glaive in the arch. He will be important here. If he goes down with nothing, there's a chance for Liquid, but time is running out.
He's getting Glaive. Magisk still in pit. They know that he plays there. Molotov down. He's already thrown a smoke, but it's Dupree instead with 4 on the site. And Zonic knows exactly what that means. Magisk normally has the smoke for self-preservation. He's Molotoved out, and they're wrapping from Library. There's nowhere to hide at that point. That's one way to counter it. We often talk about how he stays there for so long, and then Dupree just says, I got you, bro.
Yeah. I just love that play from Device the most. I know he only got 1 kill, but the fact he knows they're going to flash, they're so scared of him, they're going to flash off first, and he'll just wait for that, then peek. It's pretty genius, and Dupree, this was nothing short of that as well. The fact he gets that lovely double spray down and has the awareness to look towards quad straight after as well. This is great Counter-Strike to watch right now. All the stars aligning on both teams, to be honest, as we'll see a wonderful shot there at the start. The Desert Eagle against the AWP. Nafly won't be able to recover the sniper, but still, it's a great start. They take down one of the deadliest members of Astralis. Device been rattled as we don't have armor here for Liquid. It's not a partial buy. Astralis really want to go pick up that AWP if possible and deny any sort of access to it, but I don't think that's possible. There might even be another kill here. This is an eco, and now they have access to the AWP and maybe even an AK-47. Oh, maybe not for long.
Glaive takes out Nitro. Yeah, no, there's no access to it at this point. Glaive's going to babysit that backside as well. Zipix in the site, spotted. Twist knows he's up on top of the box. Couldn't find it with the AWP. Missed shot that needed to land. He's sacrificed his teammate for the miss.
Oh.
Doesn't that time. Through the box makes up for it. Magisk, though, catches out Naf, stepping wide. Twists again in a 1-on-2. Pulled off this in the pistol round. Bit different circumstances. This time they're surrounding him, and he's still on the op. He's going to stick to it. Oh, he does. Is he aware? He's aware now. The Glaive's crossed, but he's got an angle. No chance Twist would pull that back on the op.
Wow. It all started with a Nafly 1D, comes down to a 2 versus 1 for Twists. If he had a little bit more time there, his objective really was to get the bomb down. Sure, he's always going to try and win after, but he was painted to a corner. Just wanted that extra cash for his teammates. He didn't feel like he could win it. AWP not really ideal in that scenario. So there it is, 8-5. Astralis win it, but cost them some cash. That was the 1D. You can see that's a complete pre-aim. Just challenging, maybe a little bit lucky, but a great amount of skill involved in that as well, knowing how to line that sort of maneuver up. As we go for Device and Glaive on the double AWPs. Seeing more and more double AWP setups from Astralis. He stays normally with Dupree, but on Inferno, Glaive is definitely a dab hand. We'll see what he can do here as the initial smoke comes in, trying to set himself up towards those barrels once again. We know that Liquid haven't necessarily been challenging every single round, so he's waiting to see how much presence there are. As Zipex will jump and confirm that no one's there. Presumably pull a player back from B once again. But here comes the flashbang. They are actually going to challenge, but a bit later than usual.
Liege waiting toward the box position. Flash out. Zipix. Still waiting. Gets blinded out. Oh, still got a shot in. He's partially blinded. Tags up Nitro. Body shot, thankfully for his sake, or he would have gone down to the headshot immediately. Glaive Trying to do what he can, but this is finally some banana pressure from Liquid.
Yeah, they showed quite a lot at the start, but then when the gun rounds began, they seemed terrified to even go in this part of the map. Fortunately now with the 5 versus 4 device tagged up as well, I think it's just Glaive who's at B right now. We have got dupreeh rotating in, but their position's really not ideal. As you can see, the smoke will be an absolute nemesis for Glaive, and dupreeh has got it all to play for here. He needs to try and deny that bomb, but he just gets a bullet in the face straight through the smoke.
Pretty sick. Through the smoke, through the coffin as well. Taco takes down Device. And that clears out CT, leaving us with just Magisk. There's money enough to buy for Astralis, more so if he keeps this AK-47 in contention. So that's what he'll try and do to make it now 8-6. Liquid closing that gap once more. Hang out in the kitchen, the common position. Head of the table, he's the man of the house. You're the man of my house, Henry.
Where's the house?
Innsbruck.
Okay, the future house. But Magisk with the AK, fantastic work there. Again, from Liquid, as you mentioned, actually challenging Banana this time. Maybe feeling like they couldn't get enough done against the initial barrage of grenades and waited to go for a retake in sorts of they flash over and can actually push back whoever's at the very top. This time it was Glaive, the first time showing a double AWP setup. Didn't really find anything there. If he had a rifle, could have been a different story, but wanted to try something different. Didn't work out for them, and we go 8-6. Who'll be getting the final round? We will find out here. These shots from Nafla, not only did he get a shot for the smoke towards CT spawn, he hits that one as well. That's pretty unreal. That shouldn't be happening, but I enjoy the fact it is.
Who doesn't enjoy the unexpected? I like surprises. That's why I like Christmas.
Is that a surprise, though, Christmas?
Yeah, when you get gifts. Oh, sorry, I forgot you don't get. I'm sorry.
I didn't get anything.
I'll buy you something this year. What would you like?
I would like Caribbean holiday.
I'll buy you something else this year.
Okay, fair enough. We'll just go with the surprise. Round 15. Oh, the grenade damage again. It's not even worth mentioning sometimes. It happens every single round. You're just like, well, again, they've lost 100 HP due to the HE grenades at the very start. But there we go. They have got Banana control at least. This time pushing the CTs back. No casualties taken. And 3 players here. Astralis has got such a good read at all times as to what's going on. I've got 4 players at A or 3 at B. It's quite magical to watch. As we hit the 1 minute mark, is this going to be a straight up execution? You'd expect Molotovs, new boxes, smokes, coffin, CT spawn. But Device is avoiding all of that and sitting on the corner here. Looking at that first pick, he'll knife out and run away, go to new boxes.
Glaive does get Nitro as well before the smoke lands onto Coffin, so 9-6, it looks the case. More so with Device confirming yet 2 more as he gets twists. And he could find Naf, nearly did. Shot just above his hands, maybe clipped his fingernails. I bite mine. 9-6 indeed. As Liquids failed to come up with any more after a little bit of a run at the start, to be fair.
Absolutely. They won the pistol. A round that arguably was going in favor of Astralis. It looked so good for them. Then Twist comes up, trumps in the 2 versus 1, and actually finds them 3 rounds from that. So that was a massive factor in the first half. But Astralis do win 96. I still feel like they're the strongest team here. Most of the victories on Team Liquid were due to the fact that Twist had an unbelievable individual performance. You think after that pistol, the clutches he was finding as well, pretty epic stuff from him. And I think Twist will finish on, let's have a look. How many kills did he get? He only finished on 10, you know. Doesn't sound crazy, but the rounds that he was finding kills at the rounds they were winning. So they're high impact frags, I would say. As Nafly, he lit it up as well with the AWP, but of course so did Device. Fantastic towards the end, hitting absolutely everything. Here's the comparison between 2 of the styles on the server right now, Magisk and Twist. You can see pretty equal right now. Magisk with a few more kills, and I feel like he is one of the strongest pit players in the game right now. Like the way he has so much self-preservation, as you pointed out, in that broken wall position, and no one seems to be able to flush him out, is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. I think one of the other players that's decent on it, though, is Twist, so we'll see if he can match that. Twist is a little bit more mobile, though, whereas Magisk stays toward Castle quite frequently. Twist is willing to push the outsides of the smokes, play toward Graveyard, potentially on top of the site itself. Not that Magisk isn't, just more frequent from Twist. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we'll see how it pans out. Remember, T side for Astralis, it might be considered a CT side of map, but their T side, it just looks unbelievable at times. 3 sets of armor for them, 2 smokes, 4 flashbangs with no HE, suggests it won't be a fast take towards Banana. They've got many options here. and we'll see if there's any anomalies on the CT side. Not really, just forces of armor, one defuse, get a couple of flashes for nav flies, pretty standard stuff on both sides, and it will be a default from Astralis to kick things off here. Taco looking for a bit of information towards middle, and Nitro jumping across to get the intel. You can see he does take quite a lot of damage. I say quite a lot, down to 87 through the wall bangs. So at least they're aware of his presence, but he's going to run right back and just get back into a more defensive spot, holding the end of the apartments. You do that just to confirm those players towards second middle. If there's no one there, you can quite safely assume that it's going to be a B-side attack if you jump across and there's absolutely 0 players on the T side in second middle. 1 minute 20 at this point. It's going through their usual flight paths here. Dupree towards Boiler, Major's holding apartments, and for now Device is holding T steps or any pushes, not even challenging it, just seeing if they want to explore the option of pushing it. But Flashbang comes in, actually flashing themselves. Luckily, no CTs there to defend, and they will head back towards B. Device hasn't seen any presence there whatsoever. They'll flash over, confirm it's clear, and this will be the smoke towards CT. The smoke in front of Coffins as well, which has just been deployed. Flash over, brute force here, but Nafly holding like a turret. Great shot, the whole thing's.
Twist is going to try and do the same, elevated up above the smoke Elige. Gets one already, drops the bomb temporarily as Device waits in water. That pulled Twist's attention away for a while. Didn't think he was there. Still manages to get back and find him as Dupree fires back in. But it's just he and Magisk. This could be back-to-back pistols, 2 for Liquid and none for Astralis, yet they're the ones that need it more at 9-6.
Well, this is why they're not planting right now, because they're running out of time, but they know there's low HP available. They're trying to bait out some of those low HP players and force them into unfavorable situations, which this is it right now. There's the next kill, but 15 seconds. Can they really justify hunting for more kills? If someone has to go for the plant, that's what the CTs are waiting for at this point. Plant comes in, it has to be a hell of a defense here. Not going to happen. That's going to be round. Nothing can be done. Nice attempt in the 4 versus 2. I liked what they were trying to make happen, but it's obviously way too uncomfortable. As Majors will pick up a few kills. He actually gets no money for that round, but luckily gets a ton of kills, so gets something out of it.
Does get something out of it. He's at 1350. Everyone else is at $2,000. He's not that far behind. It will make a bit of a difference for the guns if they don't get a bomb plant this time, because they're going to get 2,400, and he'll be slightly behind.
Well, there we have it.
Could still go to an SMG and then farm that back up again.
Exactly.
All is not lost.
It is quite lucky that he got all the kills here. Is it 3 or 4? Oh, he got 4. So he actually gets similar money to the 1900 his teammates would have got. It really is not the end of the world. He can absolutely buy Galil instead of AK next round. As we get into it, should be the full eco, expect rifles.
And I actually suggest he could even go to an UMP and try and farm up the cash as well. Depends on how they want to play it.
Yeah, good point. Gives him a bit more utility as well in that respect. Well, speaking of SMGs, because we've got 4 of them on the Team Liquid side. Inferno, very close range map. It's not a huge deal. Just knowing you're going after the AKs next. Bit of a scary prospect. You want to make sure this round is as clean as possible. If you do lose a player, not actually the end of the world, because then you get another M4. So we'll see if they can keep this clean. Don't necessarily have to challenge here. You can see them just trying to bait a Legion at the bottom. That grenade looks pretty successful. It doesn't actually connect.
Yeah, I think that they saw it. Device, or I think it was Glaive, actually, excuse me. Saw it coming and backed away. But that push position from Elige, no one's challenging. He might actually swing out behind the mid. Confirms they're all top mid, so he'll go and push up toward the bench position. Doesn't even matter. Twists with 3, Taco with 1. Zipix the only left to find. Here's Elige trying to jump in behind him. But get him. He goes to the burst fire, thinking he might be trying to jump, but again, he looks immediately onto the stairwell, but it's now 8 for Team Liquid. Twists with 16, just 1 behind that of Magisk on 17. And they're 1 round behind on the scoreboard as well. So Magisk actually went to the AK. He went for head armor, AK, and no utility.
Well, there it is. Wants to have the main weapon in his hand, no distraction mount, the utility. Just can focus on raw headshots. Maybe that's for the best.
Well, the problem is that they don't have much utility. I guess they've got 4 smokes. Yeah, they do. Okay, Glaive has 1. I was going to say, if they compromise, you want 3 minimum on Inferno. Nade off the backboard, straight into the arse of Device.
Yeah, tasted their own medicine there, perhaps, as Device goes down to 35. Obviously, the smoke shrouds any vision from outside of the map, and if you're hanging around the T-steps, it's a very common position to hold in defaults. You are going to feel some damage coming through if Liquid can time it right, which they absolutely did there. So, default here. Don't need anything too flashy. You know you have the advantage in terms of firepower with the AKs in hand. Just want to make sure you flush every close range position out. They've got SMGs, you need to be Molotoving logs, making sure you Molotov towards the barrels as well, making sure there's no potential threat on the other side. Now they can confirm no one's going to be behind half wall, for example, and focus towards sandbags. Taco's going to rotate over and boost the defense to 3 players on this side of the map. Maybe he'll just boost and fall back here. Actually heads towards ruins. They've got a decent read here that Astralis are heading towards B. See now. He wants to show presence there as well because his player boosted above him. Wants to suggest he's not. Let's fire off some wild bullets there. Nitro boosted as well. So nice setup here with the SMGs. Great kill from Nitro. Gonna need a couple more here, and Taco's ready to deliver.
Certainly is. Naf, no different. Steps down off of the box in the back of the site with 2 on the UMP. And it's Dupree in a 1 versus 4 with an AK-47. And a prayer. 11 seconds. The prayer will be, spare me this deliverance, O Lord. I wish to survive, for money is slim. I do not have the means necessary to provide in the next round. Leave me this AK. Amen.
Well, Liquid. That is absolutely massive for them to pick it up. Like we said, 4 SMGs coming into it, 1 for mass. And the fact they have that nice creative setup towards B. They have a player boost on the bomb site, 1 in CT spawn. You got Naf just showing aggro and then rotating around towards the ruins as his teammate takes it from CT spawn as well. It was almost like poetry. It was very nice to watch. Very well done. And we go 9-9, and there will not be a force buy here. It's Dupree with that saved AK-47. Zipex gets some armor as well. So not an impossible round. If they can get an opening pick off the back of Dupree, then a chance to pick up another rifle and then snowball into the A site. We'll see.
I'm going to just sit toward the top of middle and hold off.
They've just shot each other. Dupree just shot Zipex in the head, I think.
Yeah, that's 53 HP remaining. That's worse than a knife.
Yeah, there's blood all over the wall in the bedrooms. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Well, I can tell you it was a rough night.
Yeah, it must have been. Goodness gracious. This is Liquid actually looking... They could put up a decent fight. Both pistols certainly has helped them out, but that 3rd round victory here with the SMGs, that's fantastic. They've got 3 AKs now on the CT side. That's going to be so positive for them. And once again, it's not checked, but luckily they'll be doing most of the damage, and Alige will come on blind and be absolutely fine. Liquid get a bit of a break there. It looked like Astralis going to flip around and maybe get a few kills, but his teammates are there to back him up. It will be 10-9. That was the eco, though. Dupree's going to be a little bit lower in funds than his teammate, though. Remember, he got no cash for saving the AK. 3,400 right now. Goes to the Galil, so he can get a few smokes and flashbangs here. Actually, just 1 smoke. That's it. Liquid. Ton of money at this point. 8K on now. 7,000 on Alige and Nitro. That was the initial shot we talked about.
I like how he just looks at him.
He's like, oh.
He's probably looking at him in real life, too. Just stare down the line. Hey, bro. Don't make me drop the gloves. Device and Molotov actually threw the barrels on the purple sides and then smokes off in front of him to preserve his position. Clever. He needs to go both directions. He actually jumps down to avoid any severe damage and does 1 less to Nitro. Scratching each other. Bit of a cat fight. Lineage will respond to that pressure, however, and rotate over, so it's 3 on B. Bomb still down toward the bottom of T stairs. Nitro just absolutely destroys Device, but gets a little eager. Didn't necessarily have to go for more on that. They had the opening pick. Now they've just thrown it back. This will open up for execution on A as well. Only 2 on the site, and that's all. Taco's going to have to be perfect on the double up setup. Finds the first kick, get back around the corner fast enough. Dupree was far too close all along. It's Twists that needs to be on his game. He's no longer in the pit. Again, likes to transition out of there in pressured situations. He'll find one tanked up, though, and he knows that Magisk is coming around the corner, who has the pre-fire against him, and therefore has the kill. It's now a 2-on-2 bomb being planted, and the call from Liquid is going to have to be perfect. Again, they gave away a kill at the top of Banana. Dupree just could not, or rather, excuse me, Taco could not do anything against Dupree. Just holds by the bomb. Second player in the pit, that's natural for Zipex. 1 for 1, that means Zipex has the control of the situation, but Naf knows where he is. Flash out, that'll go behind Zipex. He's done that by design, and it blinds up Naf, but he does get onto the site as a result as well. Smoke on the bomb, tries to peek it immediately with Zipex aim directed in that direction. That didn't really work out. It's Zipex that still wins the duel.
Right down to the wire, that one. Absolutely massive round for Astralis to pick up. They're 4-0 down in the second half, but he comes to life, Zipex, in the 1 versus 1. Who else would you want in that position? He manages to win out and keep Astralis in contention here. That would have been disastrous to give away. Money would have been broken once again. But now it will be Liquid buying into the situation. Their money starts to get a bit ruffled here. 2 Orcs coming out for Elise and Nitro. Nitro picking up the weapon a little bit more these days, it seems, and it's definitely worth buying into this round, as we know Astralis are right on the precipice of being reset at this point. It's Galil for Device once again. Not looking too comfortable on each side. Had to drop a few weapons for the North American squad. I'm not sure the AWP is down just yet. Taco yet to get a weapon in hand. He's got the AWP in his position. So Taco's going to pick up the AWP. We should follow Taco to start of the next round, please, and see what he's up to. He's going to go for an opening pick and see what he can do. He's got it. He might be challenging either second middle or towards the T-steps himself, and see what he's up to.
Taco aggressive. He could, but he's not going to overstep the mark, I don't think.
There we go. Not as exciting as I thought. I apologize.
Interesting that Nitro's elected to bring out the AUG. It's not just a leash. People slowly transitioning over. Maybe that's what the new update is. They're going to give a scope to the M4 as well.
That was the original Counter-Strike release, had a scope in the M4. So
Twists, yeah, we're throwing it back. We're going old school. But you have to loot it on the ground. And if you're the last one alive, you win.
And the circle comes in pretty quick.
It does come in pretty quick. Taco's going to show us exactly why with the AWP. His Device ran directly toward him as if there was a circle behind him, getting around the corner. It's all on a glaive. This is Liquid having won 4 rounds in a row to start the half. Give away 1. They could reset Astralis here and now, and they've done exactly that.
Quick round as well. Efficient stuff. AWP picked up by NAF, and the Orcs paying dividends there. As we go around over 22, should be the eco for Astralis. They're going to be tested here. Remember, Liquid have played Astralis a lot throughout this year. The only map they've ever beaten them on is, well, I would say a series win, I guess. They've taken maps in best of 3s. But the only victory they've really had was an Inferno at the London Major. Went to overtime. And Astralis normally look a lot more deadly on their T side. Liquid are shutting them down right now. With the pistols available, it will be... Oh, actually, I guess this is a force. I've got 3 players fully invested with Deagle armor, a few smokes and flashbangs. They're going to need this to work out, or Liquid will be dangerously close to finding 16 rounds. Be a full eco if they give this one away. And it'll be 12-10. 3 dodging grenades. As they get some B control as well. In terms of execution potential, there really isn't much. They got 1 smoke and a flash. So all they can really hope to do is find an opening with the Deagle and see whether there's any sort of opening after that. There's a flashbang over. I think that it's going to brute force it. Who's waiting on the other side? It is Nitro, the AWP. Nafly is completely flashed, and here we go. We'll see what can be done.
Did you say AWP or AUG?
Oh, I thought it was.
It's not. He's got an AUG, though. Nitro downed by a Deagle. 2 kills on the pistol, and it's 2 guns picked up. It's Twists that will get 1 back at the very, very least. That's at the bottom of Banana, not near enough to the site. What a round to steal back if they certainly can, and Taco narrowly missing a chance to get a kill.
I love those sort of Hail Mary plays, you know, let's say, well, we've got 1 flashbang here. We'll float it over. May just keep trying to get something done with the Deagle here. Maybe 1 kill. Well, I'll go for 2, guys. How about that? And he manages to absolutely rail both of them. And they even saw it coming as well. The thing is that 1 flashbang was absolutely everything. It took Nafly out of the situation for what? 2 seconds? That was enough for Mages to get on the bomb site, find that first kill, swing around, get the second. Can't wait to see that on the replay and see how sharp he looked. Oh, they're hitting each other now as well. Still with the advantage, but the bomb is going to go off. Liquid will have to let this one slip by, and Glaive will exit with the M4. Zipex with the CZ. Mages is going to get a rub on the shoulder for sure. Come on, Zonic, give it to him. He's waiting to make sure it's all clear first.
I want a rub on the shoulder from Zonic.
Oh, there we go. Not even going to... No rub. That's insane.
Maybe Zipex doesn't like to be touched.
Let's see if he gets it. Maybe it's just a delayed one. There it is. Thank you. Want to make sure he gets that. That was excellent. Let's have a look at the shots, though. So he gets in the side. Like we said, the flashbang pushes Naf back enough to him to get in a position like that. Oh, my goodness. Nitro didn't stand a chance. The Desert Eagles...
You know what we should have done for this event? We should have had ESL facilitate a Secret Santa between all the teams that qualified.
That's not a bad challenge.
That would be amazing. God, yeah. Another one. That's Get the lawyer to patent
That's
it.
a good idea.
Man, oh, man. Content.
Well, it's one more event
drop the bomb to film it.
Exactly.
If some specific team didn't bankrupt us.
Organization, not team.
That's right, organization. My mistake.
But yes, that was absolutely wonderful from Mages. He gets him right back in it. That's why Astralis are considered the best. In those sort of situations, they can win more often than not. They know what they have to do a lot with very little. As we get into it, still they're going to be reset if Liquid can win this, and that's why they do force buy as well. There's an MP9 out, but that's fine on Inferno. It's Taco who seems to be with the main AWP responsibilities on Inferno. We've seen this a couple of times, and that was not the best move. Dupree is known to be in Boiler in a default every single time. Unless he's going for a big no-scope there, he really was dancing with the devil, and Dupree will more than happily remove that all from the situation. Risky move from Taco, doesn't pull off, and it's a 5 versus 4, and they can execute towards B, and no one's there. Nitro's taking the gamble play and fallen back from the B site. Obviously, Astralis won't know that, but as soon as they get into the site and realize there's no one there, they're going to make sure they plant the bomb and rounds over. But Liquid are aware of that prospect as well. It's not like they've made a mistake here. They've made this gamble play, and they'll give it up. If the bomb goes down here, they won't go for a retake. They'll just let it happen and hold on to the majority of their weapons. So Dupree definitely steals that AWP away. Did he hide the AK? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe the boys will check it. I'll go have a look. He did. He left the AK. Oh, it's a Galil. Okay, that's actually great because they can't really do much of that. I guess Nitro can get it, but he definitely makes things more complicated. They're going to go check it right now. I can see the MP9 encroaching on the boiler room position. So Nitro wants to upgrade, but Device at least is aware of that prospect and won't deny it. Actually gives up his AK, and it's maybe a little bit too bait to try and grab it. So Nitro is going to go around boiler room, but looks things. Oh, hold on to the MP9. I thought he was going to do a bit more with that.
Versus 4 as the round ends. That's how many guns will be saved and carried over. It's Astralis that get the round, however, to go 12-11 up. It's gone pretty much every direction that it could in the last 4 rounds. 3 out of 4 going the way of Astralis, but that included the reset. If not for Magisk's fantastic efforts on the Deagle on entering B, we would be in a much different situation right now.
Yeah, we even built it up in that round. We said if they lose that round, not only would it be 12-10 in favor of Liquid, they would be full eco at that point as well, so potentially, or almost certainly, 13-10. No, Mages wins the Deagle round, and it will be 12-11 in favor of Astralis. They're pulling it right back, of course. It's what they do best. We mentioned it yesterday as well, I think. It's something they're really not happy about, the fact they seem to have to come on these huge comebacks every single time they win, but they seem to do it so often. Can't really argue with the results as the scores are there on your screens. 22 for Twist, 21 for Mages. That's the battle to watch out for as it continues here in round number 24. Another difficult round for Liquid. They couldn't recover the Galil, so Nitro's still on the MP9. Not a huge deal, but certainly going to be a factor. Oh, 4 players towards B at the start. A little bit different. Not going to be pushing as well. They're hoping that Astralis go through their usual waypoints and maybe challenge at the start. They throw the grenades, but no damage inflicted. And they'll fall back to their usual positions.
Device still waiting with the AWP. Get a comp a nade in the face. Goodness me, he's down to 23. He is 23, isn't he?
Around
birthday?
that, yeah.
Something like that.
They're all surprisingly young, like considering they've been around since the start of CSGO, which is like a 6-year-old game or something.
Maybe
like
we're just surprisingly old.
Yeah, true. There is always that. But 1 minute remaining, and Liquid, they're playing a very passive game, which is probably what they have to do at this point. Hold on to the majority of utility. Don't be baited out by it. Hold on to the smokes, the incendiaries. You gotta need them at this point. The difficult setup they have. No warp and the MP9 as well. Mid control for Astralis. 40 seconds remaining, and they are starting to bait a few of those incendiaries out now. You can see that doesn't really do much for them. Yes, it contains Astralis for a little bit, but unless they deploy all their smokes and flashbangs, it's unlikely they really do much more than that. As Twist hunts for a kill. Here's a lot of presence on the other side. Didn't feel comfortable. Falls back.
Boost to the wall. Device sneaks underneath with the AWP. Then the jump across to the sandbags, I presume, from it. Just trying to throw utility. Try and systematically take angles and clear each and every one of them on the way through. Nitro up close, 7-9. Faded out by well done. Now it's able to collect on one in response to that, however, it is the AWP Device. Just to spray through as well, desperately.
There was low time. If he got that kill somehow, it would actually save the round.
That nade doesn't go far enough.
It was exciting, though.
It was exciting. It was just dead if it had.
Yeah.
But it didn't go far enough at all. And 3 of 4 players heading toward Ruins, with 1 only behind, that being Twists. Doesn't have a nade, doesn't have a flash. He's just looking for alternative angles back through CT.
That's why they have to go and make those kind of, they looked a little bit silly just going for that straight up peak like that. They've got no utility. They've got nothing really to work with there. But they are getting some kills, but Mages might be able to shut that down. An expensive round for Astralis, but a win nonetheless. And Taco gave it a go, but once he called the devices in position, you can't flush him out. You're going to have to fall back. Unfortunately, they only saved one player, which actually really does benefit Astralis, all things considered. It is going to be 13-11, and I think... Oh, with one M4 save, there is a buy there. They're averaging like $4,000, maybe a bit less, like 3.5K right now. What can they do with this? A saved M4 for Twist. If they board up into this round, Matt, and lost, it would be GG. If they took a full eco and allowed it to go 14-11, it's not over, but you're obviously so dangerously close to giving it up. I think they're going to take a partial. It's probably the best call. PD50, CZs, 3 HEs. Let's see how much damage they can do. They're going to kind of bundle them down middle. With Twist M4 challenging right down towards T steps.
Twist is being very aggressive. This is fantastic, but it's only going to yield one at the best of it because they're already inside the apartment. So he's up to that challenge. He's gotten device. Twist now knows they're toward the top of alt mid, so he's be careful and retreat, not aware that Glaive is still there. Zipex falls as well, though, from Taco at range. Taco trying to win out the round himself on a USP. Can't do it. Astralis find 14.
Exciting round again. Twist pushing down towards the bottom and middle. We haven't seen much of that on Inferno today, but he gives it a go. Why not? 3 nades, and we'll provide some smoke to him to get right down there. Gets 1 kill, but Glaive with a beautiful shot from second middle shuts that prospect down, and at that point, it's quite simple procedure for Mages. A little bit high octane with the positioning attacker and the fact he's hitting headshots as well. But we're going for a double orb setup for the first time here, and it's not even Nitro using it. It's Nafly and Taco. So Nitro maybe edging away from the orb a little bit.
Yeah, this is, again, we talk about teams that are trying to overcommit to the double op. We mentioned Big. Teams that successfully commit to it, Mouse Sports. Now you've got a team that's going to try it by transferring it around different hands. Naf certainly capable of being a secondary operator. He's never really been the primary in any situation, but now Taco instead of Nitro, and Taco in a corner. Finds one, they're going to turn it around. Oh my, he nearly got away with 2. Got away with murder. Dupree does punish him in the end, but Naf has already rotated the speedway, and it's the man advantage for Team Liquid.
Taco lucky once again that no one ever seems to check that position. AWP has got to be the most frightening weapons to hold there, but he gets 1, and it will be a 4 versus 3. Astralis looking for map points here. Remember, it's Nuke next as well, Matt. Liquid, they pretty much have to win this map. There's no 2 ways about it. I know we love to build a storyline that it's going to be broken, it's going to happen, but statistics say it's just not. And if you don't win an Inferno, that could be the 2-0 locked in. But for now, 4 versus 3. 40 seconds remain. Bomb's actually in second middle, so Glaive trying to sell the fact they're going towards A. Zipex gets ready in underpass to take the bomb towards B with device. That would be great, because they've actually got 3 players towards A now, and Glaive has snuck through the arch. This is absolutely huge. He spotted the barrel. Oh, maybe overcommitted as well. He takes Snap down to 65, and now it's Nitro. He's got to perform here. If he goes down with nothing, this is a round for Astralis. Good shot. Takes down 1, buys himself some time, but he knows his presence coming in from spawn as well. Just trying to stay alive here. Open plant. That's risky, but it works out for them. Bomb goes down. 4 versus 2 are very winnable for Astralis.
Very winnable for Astralis, more so if they find this kill. Glaive inside of Banana, because now secures his position in the fruit position. Zipex still holding off to 1 or just 2 as well. Oh, not spotted. Easily find Nitro. Great off angle using that statue to effect 2-on-2. You said very winnable. They know where Zipex is, but they've got to get him out of there. That's a hard thing to do. Naf, he needs to get cold. What? Through the girder?
No way!
He's actually got both Zipex as they walk in. I was going to say Elige had to get closer. He just absolutely obliterates them.
Oh my goodness, on home soil, Zipex with yet another clutch. It looked impossible, Matt. They knew exactly where he was. He was low. He had to wallbang without any vision or information and go for it. He knew they were getting close. They were being silent. They were waiting for him to make a mistake, but he doesn't make any. How they lose that, I don't know. They've got to be gutted with it there. And the problem is, it was the AWPer that was left in the 1 versus 1, and he is absolutely done for that. They go for the double orb setup, and it's actually the play that breaks their back. It goes 15-11, and they're going to have to force buy here on their map pick. With Nuke coming up next, this does not look good at all. They'll take a tactical timeout, but what is there to say at this point? Buy everything you can, boys. We need 4 rounds in a row just to get to overtime. We said it was winnable going into this one. It was this play here. He's doing so much damage. He even gets the kill through that position, and Naf can do nothing with the AWP. Desperately tries to get the CZ out, and you can see how hyped Zonic is. We were hyped as well. That was unbelievably good.
You called it as well. Super winnable. Glaive wins banana, and then look at Dupree. He's even laughing like as if you just pulled off those shots.
I didn't think there was. I couldn't even fathom a way it would be possible, but he made it work. That's why he's a clutch minister, map. It's official now. Oh, unreal. For Masses, MP9s, and a Deagle, 3 players towards B. These rounds winnable as well. This isn't over just yet. They are on the CT side. They played this correctly. They've got the talent to prevail. There's the first mistake. Device pushing through alone by a smoke. No backup. Not what you expect from him. And that's going to give a rifle away. Didn't have to do that at all.
Just that's going to actually try and potentially catch out Nitro jumping up. Does get dinked in return with Device already down. It's not like they're in the best of positions, considering they had the economic advantage coming into this round. Could be the last of this map. Astralis with the turnaround. Remember, they did not win a pistol in this game. It was Liquid that won both. In fact, had 7-0 off the back of both pistols if you combine them. Elige does find Dupree. Nuke next as well. We just mentioned it, 26-0 currently, I think it is on Nuke.
This is going for 27-0, yeah. So
goodness golly,
it's quite a scary prospect. But like we said, Liquid waiting for mistakes to be made. They certainly were delivered. Astralis getting a bit carried away, I would say. Didn't have to commit solo through smokes, but a grenade kill comes in. This might still be job done. 3 versus 2, bomb cleanly going down. We've got 1 flash remaining, and the boosted spot doesn't work out for Zipex. It's up to Mages now, as we're playing an amazing series so far. Had the double kill lined up, but not going to be delivered, and they'll have to wait to close this one out. A labored round that, as Liquid will do absolutely everything they can to salvage weapons and scavenge the map. They get 3 AKs, flashbang as well, so they're still in this. It's going to be a long road. I know it's only 3 rounds at this point, but trust me, that'll feel like a lifetime up against Astralis. They've actually broken the money of swords. Astralis didn't have to buy into this one. They got 2 players and 3 came in and have Galils, I think. Let's see if it pans out in that fashion. So there's 1 Galil. Dupree just has a Glock right now. I assume he has a weapon dropped on the floor for him. This was the grenade that actually made things a little bit more exciting. Nitro didn't expect that to be coming in the late stages of the round. So indeed, 2 Galils, 3 AKs, bare bones utility. Astralis still need 1 more round here. This might go right down. If they lose this round, we're going right to 30. Oh, what just happened there? Naf and Nitro caught with their pants down in the corner. And now both of them...
What were they doing there with their pants down, Henry?
I'm not sure. It really didn't work out for them, though.
Together like that?
Yeah, not ideal. And that said, they're going to feel uncomfortable. That's an early smoke. Didn't necessarily have to come out that soon. And you can see the fact they've been rattled so early on. Astralis can wait that smoke out now and be comfortable even if another one being dropped with 1 minute 15 on the clock. And that's why they're rotating over towards B. They've got that early smoke out of them. Do they have another one towards B, though? So Nitro and Naf. Nitro, no. Naf, flashbang only. This would be prime. If Liquid can hold this one off, I'll be impressed. They have no utility to speak of. They just have to have brute force and see if they can hold them back. And Astralis know it as well. Here we go, we're off. Commitment from Astralis.
And indeed, Glaive already spraying into the boost just to be sure. Taco spraying back just to be loud. No one caught off, I should say. Catching any bullets on the way by. Nitro does get it just through the smoke, but it's Dupree immediately responding to that and bomb to go down on coffins. Dupree to hold to see if push comes through. Taco not willing to do so as of yet. There's no full rotation. There is flashes for them when they arrive. Single smoke for Twists as well. If they want to try, they need to go quickly. Counter flash is actually going to catch Taco as soon as he wanted to go for the boost. He slides off his teammate's head. Smoke's gone. They've got to make a move, and they've got to be convincing about it. Device with 1 trades off. Elige, who found Dupree. Zipex is still at water, though. Could confirm it, and it's Glaive to get the final kill. 16-12 as they turn it around without winning a pistol in front of the small and first ever group stage audience. That's more map.
That's a very good point, man. The fact that you actually both pistols converted to 3-0s as well. 4-0 in the first half, I believe. Second half, okay. And that's quite a huge factor. The fact is still quite a convincing victory for Astralis. 16-12, it sounds close, but you put that factor into it. The gun rounds, Astralis dominated. As usual, they did get a bit fortunate with that Deagle victory from Mages, guys, I would assume, but overall, really strong showing from them, and they were tested as well, so great opening map for this series.
Well, Nuke is next. They're going for 27-0 on it, and in doing so, finding themselves into the semi-final of Pro League. We'll take a short break, be right back.